Hello everyone, my name is Hassan Ali and I'm joined by Sharan Kumar and like always Rupesh Atmuri behind the camera. This is Cricktake. Today's episode is about something that has grabbed the headlines time and time again in the last couple of years. They call it the ultimate test, not just of bat and ball, but of patience, of spirit, and time itself. 5 days, 4 innings, one truth. Here we are in 2025, asking the question that no one imagined that we would ask if we were in 1877 when the first test match was played. Does test cricket still have a future? Today, in this episode, we travel through test cricket's past, present, and future. And to start off with, we'll begin with our throwback segment. Welcome to the Throwback segment, where we will rewind all the way back. As I had mentioned earlier, in 1877 at the MCG, Australia and England played the very first test match. There were no coloured kits, no flashing scorecards, just 11 against 11, 5 days to find the truth. And Test cricket wasn't born as a sideshow. It was the game itself, the identity of nations, the ultimate test of pride, patience and endurance. And as the game spread, tests were the heartbeat and the sole identity of cricket. For colonies, beating England wasn't just a win on the field. It was symbolic. It was once again an exhibition of pride, endurance, as well as patience. But through the 20th century, rivalries gave tests their fire. The Ashes became the pinnacle of Test cricket. India-Pakistan became theatre. And the West Indies in the 70s became the symbol of power and pride. And with notable individuals like Donald Bradman with a batting average of 99.94, Sunil Gavaskar, Sir Vivian Richards, Zaheer Abbas, Courtney Walsh, Curtly Ambrose, greatness was measured by these individuals. Individuals who excelled in the red ball format. But then as the Kerry Packer Rebels series came into being, cricket changed forever. Coloured kits, primetime television, player pay, cricket was seen as entertainment. It wasn't a battle of colonies against their colonizers. And yet, even through this disruption, Test cricket kept its place. The 80s, the 90s and the 2000s continuously gave us unforgettable Test cricket. The 70s, 80s and 90s continued to give us unforgettable Test cricket. And through it all, the message remained that tests were still the final word, the place where you truly earned your stripes and respect. Sharan, if I were to ask you, what are the 3 moments of Test cricket that define your memory?
Before starting my answer, as you mentioned that cricket in late 1800s or early 1900s, it was not just a sport. It was an answer of pride, which the nations, as you mentioned, colonies playing against the colonizers. It was a great message in form of sports. Every sportsman who was taken up a sports was wearing that pride on the chest, representing their nation in one or the other form. It was seen as a freedom fighters. If same set of freedom fighters are fighting for their freedom against the colonizers, when in terms of sports, it was also almost looked in that format, but they were very far because sports was kind of entertainment for the colonizers. Though you were playing your A game, you can't still beat them or you can't compare with them because cricket was an English game as always. You started your questionnaire with a hard question, I guess, because I have seen a little more cricket, I guess. I don't know how much I have seen, but I have so many memories with the Test cricket, especially because since childhood, with the cousins, I started watching Test cricket on early morning when India-Australia series or India-New Zealand series. So these used to be playing like 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. in Indian IST. So that's how my interest in Test cricket has grown year by year.
And was
So
this from childhood?
it's from the childhood.
Mm.
But I was not so sure that how much intense test cricket can grow into my mind. So in a given today, if you want me to watch a whole league of T20 matches or a proper 5 test match series, I would watch 5 test match series any day. Even if you remember, we watched WTC waking up 6:30 a.m. We watched ATT 6:30 a.m. So this is a
6:30 a.m.
dedication.
EST, Eastern
EST.
Standard Time. Yeah.
So that's the. It's not like a dedication or a passion. It just comes in us. I don't know, because of the memory lane we followed or the path we followed or the cricket how we took up and how we started watching cricket.
So let me make the question easier for you, Sharon.
Mhm.
Is that from what I understand, you're saying is that you fell in love with cricket because of Test cricket.
I should say yes.
And it's still your preferred
Yes.
method, preferred format.
Yes.
So let me make it a little easier for you. Pick your most memorable Test match from
Mhm.
your childhood,
Mm-hmm.
your teenagers,
Mm-hmm.
and then your adult life.
So actually, I need to reset this chronological order
Okay.
because I haven't watched 2001 India-Australia series, the famous Kolkata Test match,
The
Harbhajan Singh, Lakshman and Dravid partnership.
Yeah,
So
got it.
I heard a lot about it. I read a lot about it. Then I watched the highlights about it. Then it became my favorite. So chronological order, it came in between my favorite moments. It's so I can put it in that way. A 2001 Test match I watched mostly in a year of 2014-15.
Okay.
So closely, very interestingly, I thought that when people started speaking about that, or when I paid a lot of attention to it, the history which come up, the way the test match was set up, how Dravid and Lakshman took it away from the Aussie's mouth. So that was a great test match, that representation of a resilience and a patience. That was a proper test game.
I think that Test match is one of the big reasons why India go to these Australia tours with this belief
That they
something
can do
is
it.
possible. And I know that Test match was played in Kolkata, but Australia was their caliber was such at the time that you couldn't even beat them away. And at home in Australian pitches, forget about it.
Mighty Australian era.
The Invincibles, right?
Yep.
And your second and third.
My second would be Gaba 2018 BGT Border
Another
Gavaskar Trophy,
Australian. Wow.
when Rishabh Pant scored the winning runs with a tail-ender
Yes.
at the other end, and the commentary comes like "Toota hai Gaba ka ghamand." That was a moment like that.
Toota hai Gaba.
"Toota hai Gaba ka ghamand."
Could you
Basically,
translate that, please?
yes. It was a metaphor saying how India breached their strong fortress, which was built for 32 years. That fortress was built on their ability, crowned with their pride. So when India went on to beat Australia in Gabba, after 32 years, they tasted the defeat in Gabba.
32 years,
29 test matches. That was the streak they were carrying.
Credit to Australia for having such a formidable record.
Yep.
But maybe a greater amount of credit to Australia for being able to penetrate that fortress.
Yeah.
And your third Test match.
My third test match memory I could remember is Headingley Test, where Ben Stokes batting with Leach.
Oh, yes.
That was a monster of innings. Then that's how my love towards Stokes has grown, because if you look at our generation, we remember Stokes for his 2016 blunder, the World Cup final, getting 4 sixes from careless birthright.
Remember the name.
Remember the name. Then he comes out and plays this kind of innings. Same year, the 2019 World Cup, the Stokes was on news and he was banging big. So this innings was a definition of lion-hearted sports play. So these are the 3 test matches or the moments I could die in memory of. So if I ask the same question to you, I'm a bit curious, because all my memories would be sticking to the Southeast Asian memories. So you been and grown up in another part of the world. So what kind of memories you come up with?
Well, I think for me, the biggest advertisement for Test cricket, or the time where I really became glued to Test cricket, was the 2005 Ashes, right? Andrew Freddie Flintoff was my hero. When I'd be playing cricket in the neighborhood with the other kids, sometimes I'd be trying to bowl like Steve Harmison, sometimes I'd be trying to bowl like Simon Jones and Brett Lee, Jason Gillespie. course, the great Shane Warne, may he rest in peace. Andrew Simons, may he rest in peace. You know, it's been exactly 20 years since that series happened. Some of those players aren't even with us anymore. But that series was the point at which the Australian invincibility against England started to decline. And for me, it was absolutely thrilling as a youngster to see Australia's dominance break for once. And for that to be done through charismatic and super talented individuals like Freddie Flintoff, and Kevin Peterson became a superstar after that series as well, both on and off the field. Off the field, he got into some controversies with Shane Warne and some women that he wasn't supposed to be hanging out with. And it really exhibited the whole spectrum of things that a cricket player experiences during a test series. And I think it is one of the greatest test series of all times. Second, I would say one of my favorite test matches of a test series of all time was when, under Sir Alistair Cook, England as a number one team in 2012 came to tour Pakistan in UAE.
Mm-hmm.
And we trounced them 3-0 with Saeed Ajmal and Abdur Rahman taking, I don't know how many wickets they took, but both of them were the top two leading wicket takers. But I will never forget that series because that was the start of Misbah's era as Test captain, and it was a trailer of the times to come in Test cricket for us, and he eventually led us to the ICC Test Mace as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, I think, a defining moment in that period. And the third test match that I would like to mention, a test match that I wish everyone got to witness live,
Mm-hmm.
was the farewell test match for Misbah-ul-Haq and Yunus Khan, 2017, Dominica. Shannon Gabriel's on strike. He has Roston Chase on the other end batting at like 101 or something. There's 1.1 overs left. Yasir Shah comes in to bowl the last ball of the penultimate over, and Shannon Gabriel skies it. And I remember Fazir Muhammad, the West Indian commentator, says, "Why did he do that? Unbelievable." And I will never forget that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And Yasir Shah runs off and he goes towards like backward point, running at full speed, and then does a slide onto the grass. Like, it's crazy scenes. The test match ends with Misbah and Yunus on the players' shoulders. It was the perfect end. Pakistan win their first ever test series in West Indies. Misbah-ul-Haq retires, Yunus Khan retires. It's a fantastic memory that I have. And I wanted to save it for the very last because it is the most exciting memory I have of test cricket in recent times. And then I'm obviously speaking from Pakistan's perspective because those are the test matches I will watch from day 1 to 5. But you always end up defining test cricket through the victories your nation earns. We don't have a league for test cricket, so obviously we don't really have, I don't know, an Islamabad or a Bangalore to support.
You have to support the nation,
Yes,
through and through.
Those are the 3 memorable moments that I have of test cricket.
It's great to listen your stories, like how heroes has been farewelled in those generations. These days, heroes are just disappearing in Instagram stories.
I would actually like to ask our viewers if they would like us to do an episode
On a forgotten heroes.
on our forgotten heroes. The context being that Virat and Rohit have been asked to step away from red ball cricket for India without a farewell. A lot of test cricketers and
There are so many
T20
ODI
cricketers
cricketers
around the
Yep.
world.
I think last one which I witnessed, one was Sachin. I think Ashish Nehra got a farewell match in 2016 something. That was the only thing I remember. Neither Ashwin nor Rohit Sharma, and it's same gonna happen with the Jadeja as well. I can see the trend, the pattern. It's gonna repeat.
It's really sad. I mean,
Cheteshwar Pujara, Ajinkya Rahane, take up your big names.
but Sharan, these individuals are these test cricketers were those that were probably dropped based on their form.
That's okay, Hassan. I'm not saying.
So if you want to give them a farewell, you have to bring them back into the team. Is that how you should be?
I'm speaking about those guys, Cheteshwar Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane. They won us a BGT in Australia. Do you know what is that What's the value of that VGT
Virat
Cup?
Kohli has carried the Indian cricket team on his back. You're talking about a BG trophy. Virat Kohli has carried the team on his back.
I'm just giving an example of particularly
So
speaking
what are
about
you-
Jinx and Cheteshwar Pujara.
My
So
point being, my man, is that if they don't even treat Virat with respect, Chiteshwar और Rahane कौन होते हैं मेरे भाई?
so then this is the pattern it's gonna follow. Then we should have a less expectations and start pinning their stories on Instagram so that as soon as they retire, I should be getting a notification that Virat retired. That's the next thing I should do.
So as our viewers can tell, this is probably an episode we want to do, but if that is of interest, we would love to know in the comment section if you want to hear more of what Sharan has to say about this rather aggressively. Now, we've discussed Test cricket, right? We've talked about our core memories. We don't need to go into the details of what Test cricket is. Everyone knows that. People who are listening to us are obviously traditionalists who want to know more about the sport. We've talked about its history, its legacy, how it defines so many things for both of us on an individual level. But legacy only matters if it's carried forward, right? That's why it is called a legacy.
Yes.
It transcends generations. And that's where I think the present is starting to get very tricky. And with that, we'll move on to our next segment, In the Middle. Welcome back. On to our next segment, In the Middle, where we discuss the present state of Test cricket. Test cricket, as we just had discussed in the previous segment, has been a form of history, legacy, and fundamental roots for people like Sharon and I. But legacy only matters, as we discussed, if it survives the present. And right now, the picture is split, Sharon. On one hand, you have the Anderson Tendulkar Trophy, where the episode...
Which recently concluded.
Yeah, we had an episode on the Anderson Tendulkar Trophy. We had an episode on the World Test Championship final where South Africa triumphed against Australia. And we've also spoken about Test cricket at length in the context of women's cricket.
Mm-hmm.
And through these experiences and through what our audience can also see, we have South Africa lifting the World Test Championship mace, Bazball coming in, the Gambhir Gill combo trying to counter that Bazball strategy. Pakistan, after getting trounced by Bazball in Pakistan, try to adopt a more aggressive strategy. In general, we have seen Test cricket being played at a faster rate than before. A lot of Test matches are culminating in 4 days. When you put all of this together, they are good things and bad, like in most.
Everything has its own repercussions. So,
But do you feel that over time, the cracks in Test cricket have widened so much that today it's a format that is struggling to stay relevant? You look at the shrinking calendars, the empty stands, the broadcasters wanting more T20 cricket than red ball cricket. And that's where the romance that we share for Test cricket collides with reality. Test cricket is giving us brilliance and brokenness in equal measure. So in this segment, let's unpack this dichotomy of really encouraging things and very discouraging things as well. Who holds the power, and whether players and the boards, the audience still believe if Test cricket really is the pinnacle.
see, Hassan, I still consider, it's my personal opinion, Test format is still a pinnacle of any kind of format in international cricket. Being that said, I can see clear 4 cracks in a Test cricket format, starting with scheduling, the influence of big threes, the finances and the broadcasterships, the empty stands or the lack of audience.
Could you expand?
Coming to the scheduling point, if I pull out the numbers, I can see till date, England has played 1,089 Test matches. Pretty evident because they started playing cricket. So
1877.
1877. So
Along
that
with
makes
Australia,
sense.
though.
along with Australia. So let's not take that kind of sample set.
All time.
All time set. So let's speak in last 10 years or last 5 years.
Fair enough.
In last 10 years, England went on to play 127 test crickets.
Test matches.
Test matches. Australia is 97 at the second. Australia is 97 in third position, where India played 103 test matches, which is the second highest number of matches played in the list
The last 10 years.
in last 10 years.
So the big three have in fact played the most test matches.
So can you guess how many test matches Sri Lanka has played or a Bangladesh? Leave apart. Just guess how many test matches West Indies has been played.
In the last 10 years?
Yeah.
80.
So you were so close, 79. So that was your best bet. Like since what Caribbeans come up with their legacy, the test cricket is very meaningful for them.
Mighty Windies.
Mighty Windies thing.
Yeah.
In 2020, starting from 2020, this particular decade, England played 70 and second highest is India, 54. Australia played 48.
What about Pakistan?
Pakistan played 38. You can see
38.
38. It's basically Pakistan played 50% of a test matches which England play.
And it will be fair to say that Pakistan is 50% of the test team that England is, right?
Yeah. One more fun fact.
These are fun for you.
It's not fun.
It is depressing for me.
South Africa played only 39 matches, but still they have WTC trophy with them. Weightage? So, coming back to the point, the scheduling
Who's played the least amount of test matches in the last 5 years among the test playing nations?
Test playing nations,
Sri
I think
Lanka.
Bangladesh played 37. Sri Lanka still played 40.
Pakistan 38. Is Pakistan second lowest?
Yep.
So Pakistan and Bangladesh, in terms of scheduling, are being treated as equals in test cricket.
I can't answer that, but
That's what
the number
say.
speaks.
I would really like to use this opportunity to defend the Pakistani cricket team a little bit.
Yeah.
For all those that say that what's happened to Pakistani cricket, what's happened to their red ball format. Yes, there are many issues at the domestic level which have translated into poor performances in the red ball format. But I also firmly believe that if you don't give equal playing opportunities, you're not going to have an equal playing field.
Yeah, I agree with that. You may be a good dancer until and unless you don't have a stage.
Yeah.
What dancer are you?
Yeah. And if you don't have the experience.
Exposure.
And once again, coming back to the same thing that we always talk about, you can train, you can know as much theory as possible about where your front foot should be or how you should be releasing the ball or whatnot. But if you're not out there sweating it out, experiencing the game, experiencing the tension, experiencing the sweat, the anger, the emotions you go through, how are you going to become a proper red ball player?
Yeah, basically you are touching on the point like match time.
Exactly. Match practice.
Match practice. So second crack, I want to touch upon the influence of big threes.
Mm-hmm.
Big threes for a broadcasters and for the boards, big threes are the cash cows.
Absolutely.
I can't blame them because they have a passionate followers
Mm-hmm.
backed by number of population they have.
Mm.
If you go to Australia, every Tom, Dick and Harry watches cricket. That's what my understanding is. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Rugby and cricket
Yeah.
primarily. Yeah.
And they are very good with sports. They have a very good sports culture.
Yeah. Aussie rules, rugby, cricket, they're very good at the Olympics.
And even they are very good at hockey.
Now they even have F1 drivers.
PS3.
Yeah. And Ricardo
Yep.
in the past.
Yep. So when you look, I was recently watching an interview of Brett Lee, which was a part of a BGT. So like someone asked like, is test cricket dying? You still feel like audience are sitting in home. They are not pulling towards the stadiums. And the replay from Brett Lee was very surprising for me. I saw full-fledged stadiums and all. Every time I watched BGT, it was full. But the numbers which Brett Lee backed with, he said this was the highest audience pull all time
For a test series.
for a test series.
Mm-hmm.
So then there has to be something. Even in this era, if people are coming to watch, there is an essence of test cricket still alive.
There is this element of maybe we will get to witness history.
Yep, kind of. So the same thing happened with a ATT series. If you have seen, like people are coming well dressed because cricket may be entertainment for one nation. Cricket may be a pride in another layer of sports, another like layer of entertainment, and it is a very good stress buster. People look it as a picnic. They come up with a family. They have
They're having a
hangout.
pint, they're
Yep.
having some food. Certain stadiums have like those slopes where you
Slopes.
can
Yep.
just lie there and watch the game. It's such a nice experience.
So still, I make an argument that Test cricket is not dying in particularly those nations because this particular point, I'm sticking to all the three big nations. Where you have a cricket legacy, where you have a proper platform, where you have a huge audience who are glued to Test cricket. So what about the other countries? I can sit here and you can sit here and speak 100 problems. So what's the solution moving forward? When I say like big three are exploiting other boards, I should be backing with a number. What are other boards are doing? Is big three backing them? Is big three allowing them to schedule themselves so they can play with the other? This is basically you are making a test cricket into two-tier theory.
Which has been a hot point of discussion. We'll get to that after.
But isn't it the influence of the big three?
Look, I don't support the actions of the big three, so you're preaching to the choir when you say this. The big three, I understand, generate the most finances, but there are other sports too where teams disproportionately make more money than their counterparts. But does that mean that you're going to grab the sport and run away with it like the big three are? Just look at the scheduling stats you've said.
Yeah, Hassan, that's my point.
Yeah.
This is a structural flaw.
Yeah.
It's not BCCI or Australian cricket or English cricket board. You need to look as an international cricketing eye or as an audience. Since ICC is the one who's handling all three boards and it also finances and supports all the other boards as well. It's their equal responsibility to do the same. I understand you are catering a fresh cake in a market where you have a huge audience. But when you don't have an audience in other part of the world, it's how good you market a thing. Okay, the third crack and the major crack, what I feel like, which I already touched upon scheduling and the big three's influences, it's the broadcasters, right? Like how broadcasting,
lot of power.
and we can't even blame. That's a business for them. They want a screen time. They want a maximum viewership. Surprisingly, South Africa, Australia's WTC final is the highest number of viewership. It's surprising for me because
Wait, highest number of viewership in terms of
WTC final, like previous histories.
Oh, but that's a small sample size.
That's okay, but
still, it's
since
it's on the
since we are speaking in terms of Test cricket, and that was the small sample size I have. These was the numbers which we even discussed in a WTC episode. So broadcasters will look for those hotcakes, what can be sold and where it can be sold. You know who you are selling it to. So you know your audiences. So Big Three has a huge number of population. They treat cricket as a religion. However, you gotta go sell your product there.
So where the demand is, the supply will
follow. But what ICC is doing?
How are we saving the sport? How are we going to save the sport?
If you are, if ICC is a business, very good. Heads off to them. They are doing pretty good.
Good
but
point.
But I am not here to speak about their business strategy. I am here to speak about the format, which I love, which you love, and most of the generation who follows Test cricket loves. So, how do you balance this? The profitability and the love of the game. They should meet in a midway. What is that midway? Yeah. So this is one of the biggest crack which I feel. And coming to the fourth crack is empty stadiums. How are you gonna encourage
which connects back to the broadcasters not willing to pay as much for Test cricket?
Yeah, one is live audience and one is the audience which are in the stadium. These are the contradictory. Same Australia plays matches in Australia. You have a full crowd. Same Australia plays in India, full crowd. Ashes, full crowd. When they go play West Indies cricket, you have an empty stadium.
Like we saw this year.
Even though the matches are interesting, if population is an issue, when you look at history, The stadiums used to be full.
Mm.
Is the population graph falling in West Indies?
No.
Then what is it? There is some issue you got to agree on. If you keep preaching about the population scale and the market scale, that's not going to help. One more thing I need to add to the same point which I spoke about, the fourth crack.
Mm.
When you look at the matches in Caribbean Premier League, did you see the empty stands?
Nope.
Is that the population issue?
Nope.
Is the format issue?
Yes.
So what's the solution for that?
You're abolish T20 cricket.
Whatever you call, that is how it is.
Joking. But on a more serious note, Sharon, we've spoken about the structural issues, the lack of role that ICC is playing in keeping the sport equitable. What about the players? I know this answer will differ depending on the nation. I feel Big Three still prioritize Test cricket. You have individuals like Josh Hazelwood, Mitchell Stark, who take rest from white ball tournaments and series so that they can prepare themselves better for red ball tournaments. Do you think that this is a pattern we are seeing across the world, or again, is red ball exclusivity only limited to the Big Three?
Before I should answer, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just name a 3-format player in all the countries you watch?
So, one player each? Are you quizzing me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'll start with Australia, Pat Cummins. Bangladesh, I would say Mahmudullah or Mushfiqur Rahim.
Mm-hmm.
India, I would say it was Virat Rohit. Now, I think Harshid Rana, because it's been well documented that he's one of the few.
You had a gill on your tongue, but you went on to say Harshita, that's okay.
No, Shubman Gill.
Yeah.
Pakistan, I would say maybe Salman Ali Agha and Shaheen Shah Afridi are the only ones. Babar and Rizwan were those kinds of players. All format. England have popularized specializing roles for individuals. So if Joss Butler, you're our white ball specialist, but Joe Root, you are our red ball specialist. New Zealand, Daryl Mitchell, Trent Boult.
Santner?
Mitchell Santner, Trent Boult up until last year.
That's enough, I guess. My point was...
I absolutely see your point.
My point is that you already bifurcated cricketing formats. You are engaging your players in specific set of roles. You brought in a theory of split captaincy. The England bought it and it injected everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the big stars in big threes and even the others follow the same. Like they just play a certain set of format, maybe Test, ODI or T20. Then you look at, as I mentioned, this whole split. When you look at the Venn diagram, the one common thing between the players who plays all 3 formats still believe that Test is the pinnacle of all these formats. Take it. You can just name it. Like Kane Williamson says, Virat Kohli says, Fab Four obviously has to. So that's the best form.
They aren't as prolific in T20 cricket.
I disagree with that.
Okay, with the exception of Virat. Williamson's not the same level of a T20 player like he is in Test. Same with Steve Smith, same with Joe Root. And I know Joe Root is playing the 100 and whatnot, and he's come up with all sort of innovative strokes, but that could also have been a requirement of Bazball rather than white ball cricket. That's just my thought on this. But
see, you've already given an example of Mitchell Stark.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't play any kind of leagues because he prioritizes one is national duty, but beyond national duty, his love towards the Test cricket.
But Sharon, he gets paid like 1.5 million Australian dollars a year just as a retainer.
That's exactly my point. This is my second crack or the third crack, which I mentioned, the finances.
So
you have to encourage your players to take up and play the sports with their highest maturity and a highest priority.
And the pay should reflect that.
Yeah, exactly.
But you didn't answer my question.
See,
what I understand is the Big Three, again, treat Test cricket as the pinnacles. They're players as well, but the rest of the nations don't. I think New Zealand do.
So what's your argument now?
My argument is that I need you to convince me that players still consider Test cricket as the pinnacle. I don't think they do. It's all
Okay.
about money.
Okay. Let me go back to my answer. Let's speak about the younger generation.
Mhm.
The younger generation who are ready to take up the sports. Whenever you ask them what is your biggest dream, they will not representing India is their biggest dream. The representing India wearing white is their biggest dream.
Yeah, but Sharan, do you think Abhishek Sharma or Surya Vanshi kind of players are trying to become Test cricketers for India?
Oh, that is a very small sample size. Look at the other sample size. You see Siraj. When Siraj says when Siraj was debuted, you know that series, he says this was my biggest achievement. Playing for India, donning white, is a pinnacle of his achievement. At that age, when Gill did it, he said the same. And Yashasvi Jaiswal.
Yeah, but I think I'm sorry, I just don't. When I see individuals or players saying this on television, I have to take it with a pinch of salt. The reason being is that a lot of people or a lot of players know what needs to be said in public. They are media trained. It's not necessary that they're exactly saying what they feel. My point being that it serves you really well if you go into the public as a youngster and say Test cricket is the pinnacle. It serves you well. It has a really good PR effect. It's good for your optics. It's good for your image. And I know you're wondering why I'm bringing these things up, but a lot of the IPL superstars, for example, have to protect their public image. They are huge personalities. They're huge celebrities. So I'm just adding this. I'm not saying this is what they do, but I'm adding this as a
This
factor
may be
that
a
needs
reason
to be considered.
Okay, you give me a rationale behind this. Virat Kohli won at 2025 IPL. We had a post-match presentation. Matthew Hallen was miking Virat Kohli. When he asked about all the discussions, did he speak about the T20 cricket or the white ball cricket or the Test cricket first?
Test cricket.
What do you mean that? What do you mean by Test cricket?
He spoke about the red ball format. He spoke about how it is still the best format for your skill development, etc. But let me say something to you because I have a feeling where you're going with this one. If the youngsters were prioritizing red ball cricket, I don't think Virat would have made that statement.
So
why did he feel the need
and he
to
even
say
mentioned that this message is for the youngsters.
Yes.
I remember.
So this is my point.
So
will the Abhishek Sharmas and Surya Vanshis ever have that desire to play red ball cricket for India because they're making millions? They're superstars, they're celebrities playing the white ball format. They can go and make more money in 4 hours than in 5 days. You have to think about not everyone is going to think like you and me who will play for the love of the sport. Even for you, Sharan, you don't know that if you were in Abhishek Sharma's shoes or any IPL superstar's shoes and you perceive a certain future with the contract offer on the table, you know that if you sign this, not only you, your next generation is set.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other hand, someone is sitting there and saying, here, wear the baggy green for Australia. Wear this, you will make 20% of the money you make playing in 1 month at the IPL. Please represent the country. Very few will say, I will represent the country. Most will say, let me make
quick money.
My family. It's not even quick money. I completely respect that. It's them saying that we want to ensure that the future of our children is secured. I respect that. When I was running Green Timber, my business, a lot of my employees did not really care if I treated them to a movie or a dinner or some bonus. All they cared about was that their paycheck was in their bank accounts at the end of the month, because that's what runs their families. And you can't assume that cricketers are any different. So many cricketers come from underprivileged backgrounds. So many of them. IPL has been a rescuing act for so many poor Indians who were then able to find a platform that allowed them to lift their families out of poverty.
I agree.
This is the most positive impact I think IPL has had.
So is it a blessing in disguise?
The difficult one. I think because of how difficult it is, we can't seem to find a solution.
I think we should rest our case here. We don't have a solution for our...
Agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree.
You make good points. I make good points. Game over. But to finish this segment off, the two-tier test format.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts?
Tough question. In terms of business, I support.
Mm-hmm.
In me as a pure test cricket fan, I don't
No.
support.
I'll say two things about the two-tier test format. One, the moment you split it into two, you're not going to see a South Africa win a World Test Championship. It's done. You already sidelined them through horrible scheduling. Then you put them in a lower tier. You will never have a Temba Bavuma come out and conquer Lords. Secondly, the more you divide
Mm-hmm.
the game, the more steeper the hierarchy gets, right? Because think of it this way, Sharon. If you split the game into two tiers, it's like having Division 1, Division 2.
Mm-hmm.
We look at across the board in leagues around the world, for example. I'll use the example of the English Premier League or the Bundesliga or the La Liga. They have Division 1, 2, 3 of cricket.
Mm-hmm. Even with the F1, F4,
So
F3,
F2,
F2, F4.
yeah, sorry, not Division 1, 2, 3 of cricket, of football. And what happens is that the ones in the Division 1 get crazy amount of money. And then the second division has a huge fall off. And then the third, fourth divisions are closer together.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the model you implement in cricket, I don't have much hope for the future then. I don't think that you can sustain a sport where just 3 to 5 nations dominate the narrative. That's not a global sport, then that's a regional sport. It's done.
I can feel like
We're going in that direction.
if a kid who taken up a sports recently, watching up the legacy of the West Indies, he has to keep a stone on his heart to accept the fact that West Indies never gonna play Australia in Brisbane.
You won't have a Shamar Joseph.
So
What are you doing? Like, these are the things, like, Sharon, the commercialization and the capitalistic nature in our world has just overpowered in international cricket. They just seem to make all their decisions on what the broadcasters say, what the numbers suggest, what the revenue suggests. If you want to run this like a business, then stop making nations play.
that's why I answered in two
Yeah.
halves.
You're right. I'm starting to see your point that it's honestly a very sad state of affairs.
Yeah.
You're not trying to make it into a global sport. And on that sad note, ladies and gentlemen, we'll move on to our final segment, What's Next, where we will continue to share more of our skepticism about Test cricket. Welcome back. On to our next segment, What's Next? We've seen where Test cricket came from, and we've seen where it stands today. But where do we go from here? Does this fragility that we see currently in Test cricket continue to persist, or do we see the tide changing? Because this whole discussion is bigger than scorecards or series results. It's about survival in a world built for speed.
Mm-hmm.
5-day matches in an age of 5-second attention spans. Tradition trying to hold its own against billion-dollar leagues, and endless streams of short-form content. Test cricket, long, traditional, and boring to the young. Will it be able to reinvent itself? Will it be able to continue to be cricket's crowning jewel? Is it even cricket's crowning jewel anymore? In this segment, we're going to discuss about what the future of Test cricket.
So you made an interesting point. Like you were speaking about the dopamine hit of a cricket, the T20 thing. You basically touched the generation, the upcoming generation, very much into short dopamine hits.
Mm-hmm.
Look at our generations, we were so much into television, then we switched to YouTube, like we watch a full-length videos of YouTube. Now we ourselves, Netflix like binge watches. Now ourselves, we switched to this real concept. We can't watch a 30-second video with a full patience. We just keep on scrolling. Live about us. Sometimes my mother watches shorts on YouTube. Like it has impacted that level. And here we are preaching about Test cricket which the length of the test match will be 9 into 5, 45 hours. Will this game catering to this generation who are looking for the short dopamine hits, will that be a challenging thing?
Isn't it already proving to be a challenging thing? How do you sell slow burn test cricket to a TikTok audience?
So basically, you are trying to say Test cricket is not only competing with T20Is, but it also competing with the generation.
I think so. I think what we see currently, uh, I don't have specific data or demographics to back this up. These are things that haven't been researched as such. But I think it would be fair to say that the older you are, the more likely you're to enjoy Test cricket. And the younger you are, you're more likely to enjoy T20 cricket. I'm not saying it's a perfectly proportional relationship, inversely proportional relationship, but there is definitely an obvious pattern and trend.
Generation is a thing which we are not having any control on that. Time's gonna come, generation gonna change, taste gonna change, cricket format's gonna change. So if you want to stick on and teach or ask the younger generation to pursue a test cricket like we pursued, I don't think so that's the right way to do. It's basically how you gonna pack this whole test cricket as a package. Moving forward, what kind of marketing strategies you should be looking after, how you want to position a test cricket in a world of sports, not just cricket. So when I say the position, what I just remembered something. There is a theory called red ocean. Red oceans in a strategy class, we learned it. It's called red ocean strategy and the blue ocean strategy.
Strategic management.
Yep. So red ocean strategies are something like a fast food or FMCG sector. Like you have a multiple brands producing the same set of toothbrush. The margin is less. There people play with the quantity. Everybody is having head-on collision with themselves, and that whole layer of ocean turned into red. It's called that's why it's called a red ocean theory.
This is in economics known as monopolistic competition, which is companies or organizations selling similar products that are slightly differentiated.
Yep. So different kind of audience. So what I'm saying is, let's exit the red ocean. Let's not fight for the audiences. Let's create something. For that, we need to enter some new state where the blue ocean strategy comes.
Okay, this is opposite to the
Red
ocean strategy.
So basically, you are entering a different layer. You are catering a different set of audience. You are selling the same thing in different format. It has a different set of values.
Okay, so how would that work in test cricket?
So first of all, you are choosing a space which is uncontested.
Okay.
Because when I put the blue ocean and a red ocean strategy in cricket, you have IPL, you have Bangladesh Premier League, you have Pakistan Super League, you have n number of leagues happening at a time.
And that's our red ocean.
That's the red ocean.
Okay.
Because you don't know who's killing whom.
Okay.
That's a bloodbath.
Okay.
Keep that aside.
Okay.
Keep the white ball, the ODI thing aside, because that's very few oversaturated. Let's keep ODI aside. Since we are speaking about test cricket, I want to represent test cricket in a different layer. I want to take that to the uncontested
Give
zone.
it a separate stage.
Yes, different stage where I have a board, each set of board where they encourage their own set of players to take up test cricket. Like since their England test cricket always hammer on a point of specializing, then every board should have a particular test playing team, and that should be a standard. When moving with the time, people should be choosing playing a test cricket rather than playing any kind of leagues in any part of the world, be it a financial aid, be it the popularity, be it the benefits they get from you, as you are mentioning about the families and all, there is paycheck means a lot. So you need to position Test cricket in such a way that this all the problems should be solved in that.
So you're saying that instead of splitting our resources across Test, ODIs, and T20s, you allocate a specific governing body, finances, broadcasts, etc., just for Test cricket, and so you separate it from ODIs and T20s.
Yes, I don't want that overlapping
But
thing.
isn't this initially when you were speaking to me about the different formats, you mentioned the bifurcation of cricket into different formats. But isn't this
Contradict to my point?
I don't know. I just think this is going to make that divide even wider.
Because I want this format to be positioned in such a way that the essence of Test cricket remains same. The value of a Test cricket rise up. I want to place it as a luxury brand. Like people should crave for it. This
So
basically you are creating a starvation in a market. You play minimum number of Test matches. But the whatever matches we're gonna play, they're gonna be of top class.
Isn't that what's happening? What I understand from what you just said is that, let's say there was one department responsible for Test cricket, ODIs, and T20s. But now that same department is only responsible for ODI, T20s, and there's a new department for Test cricket.
Focus. In the field of strategic sourcing, the strategic sourcing was not even a term in early 2000s. There were no department called purchasing department early 2000s. These are the classic cases which I am mentioning. There were a privileged companies in the world which they had. I am speaking about those companies like middle zones. There was no particular position called strategic sourcing.
So procurement,
even though it is important,
concept,
even though it is so much important to any kind of manufacturing setup, see, same set of guy used to handle the procurement, same set of people used to handle the business in terms of finances. So it was under that wing. Isn't that similar to this? Do you feel like same people who are marketing T20 I should be marketing to my Test cricket?
When you gave me that example of strategic sourcing, it changed my mind, because you're right. Sometimes you don't know there's a need for something till
unless you know it.
Until you try it, right?
Until and try it. And
but again, see, your idea is really good. I like its intention. But cricket has become a commodity. It's not a sporting. ICC is not a sporting body anymore. It behaves more like a corporate setup. And with these strategic management and strategic suggestions you have, as a purist and a traditionalist, I would rather see our efforts being targeted at inclusivity and growth rather than just numbers. Because you see, the thing is, Sharan, I understand that you can chase numbers. I understand we live in a capitalist world. But my only point is that, like many things, if you deviate away from the core factor of what makes the business tick, which is the cricket in itself, the competition between different teams. If you start chipping away at that in exchange for better finances, such as the Big Three scheduling, then you possibly are looking at a less inclusive sport in the coming future. And that's what I keep coming back to. I want to see the Papua New Guineas coming up and playing against the Sri Lankas and the Indias and the Pakistans. That's how FIFA has grown soccer to such a huge level. When we have successful examples in front of us, why must we comfort the egos of three nations?
Hassan, let's not go there. Let me come back to my point. I have a strong feeling we're gonna cater Test cricket or branding this Test cricket for upcoming generation. You know what is their biggest selling point? They buy things for experience. Whatever they buy or whatever they want to, it's like a show off nature. It's like a flexing. They call it as flexing in their own terms. they are, I shouldn't be making this comment or not. Like, I can say there are 10 to 20% of the population, like in that generation, who goes for a Coldplay concerts without even listening to their full album. I bloody bet on this. You know why? His friend went, or some of his far cousin went. They put up story on Instagram. Now he has become upgraded his level in Instagram. Now this guy wanna try. Not because he want to experience that Coldplay, but he want to be named himself that he attended a Coldplay.
So following the trends.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying I want to make the Test cricket as a luxury brand, luxury experience.
So then what would be the playbook to turn Test cricket into a trend?
In order to do that, first you need to understand the market. You know, like I'm catering to this generation. What are the trades? What are they looking for? I don't want to reduce my 5 days test matches to 4 days or 1 day. I want to keep that constant. I want to keep the game constant.
Yes, please.
What are the things around it I'm gonna change? Like example, F1 race has a 3-day thing. Same set of audience go for all 3 things: practice, qualifiers, and a race. Did anyone say that it's a boring thing?
No.
Because they are not just selling the ticket of a race. They are selling a ticket of an experience. If Bahrain is hosting that Bahrain GP, they are culminating the hospitality and the tourism. There are a tourism event happening around that time. So when a guy from India goes to Bahrain to watch Bahrain GP, he's not just watching a Bahrain GP. He's experienced the tourism facilities that Bahrain is giving up. So it's like making a package, setting up a whole thing. You need to encourage people to watch the sports. Along with sports, what you are giving.
It's like when you go to the Wanderers in Johannesburg, there is a pool. You can sit in and watch the game. How cool is that? There's live barbecues going on. There are pints flying around. It's as we had mentioned earlier in the podcast, it's almost like a family day out.
Yep. This is basically, you are keeping your SKU constant, but you are playing with the package. This is just an eye candy thing.
For our viewers that have not watched our South African episode, you specifically had mentioned or given a shout out to the ICC marketing team for the World Test Championship.
Yes.
What takeaways can we take from that, and how do we see that moving forward?
See, coming back to that, when I was speaking trend, there will be a constant change in a trend. There will be a certain set of music will be following. There are certain stars will be having. Then there is a, there was a trend, sticking a banana on a wall was a trend. I don't know why.
Really?
Taking a picture of a photo sticking on a wall was a trend. And people did it. They did it with an egg. So ICC followed these all things. Now the nano banana thing. The nano banana thing, everybody is posting on Instagram. ICC is doing it. Even political parties are posting on their Instagram handle. I saw this. So it's up to you how you enter the market. It's up to you how you wanna cater your audience. If you want to address that generation, you have to enter in their market and speak in their own language. So what ICC did was they are choosing all the trending. They have a ICC Hindi handle also. So whatever the Hindi songs which were trending and what kind of, like, if for example if Singham dialogue was trending, they have to put Singham music to this guy, Babuma lifting this thing. Then there are certain songs in English also were in trend, especially which are energetic, which shows an attitude of a guy. That kind of songs they injected in these reels. Content remains cricket, but what you are wrapping it in keeps on changing. And
that's a first for cricket, I think.
We are in a situation to do that.
Yeah.
So it's even reaches to the audience who never watch cricket, but still they are in loop of the trend. They love to watch that reel. So I'll give you one classic example. What other things that ICC should be doing? They should be releasing if there is a test series going on, they have to make a documentaries. I strongly believe in that thing. Netflix partnered with F1 to release Drive to Survive.
All or nothing. The Ashes.
See, so you know where it is selling. If you ask them to come and watch on a TV, I don't think so they're going to come and watch. If it is on Netflix, if it is something like series, they're going to watch it. First, bring them here, inject them what cricket feels like, what test cricket is, then pull them back to the TV, pull them back to the stadium.
Well, when you speak about Netflix partnering up with
F1,
uh,
their viewership and the female who follows sports, especially F1, has risen up. That's the number you can see after releasing the Drive to Survive. The number of viewership has increased.
okay, but this is what I wanted. This is what I want to bring up. I don't think you've watched it, but on Amazon Prime,
Hmm.
there have been 3 seasons of a documentary called The Test.
Yeah, I watched that.
Oh, you watched it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm
That,
saying
that's
certain
the
kind of things.
only documentary that's been made on.
No, they even made it on the BGT. It was of Sony's. I watched that.
Yeah, you see, but the reach Amazon or Netflix have,
No,
Sony does not have.
no.
That's a India only impact.
That's what I'm saying. When you are world's second richest sports and you have a second highest viewership, that money has to be invested. You have to partner with big shots like Netflix. Bring those production houses. Ask them to market my sports because they know the pulse of this audience. You know the game. They know the pulse. That's how you need to combine together and make a product.
Another thing is, Sharan, the attempts that are made at cricket documentaries.
Especially Netflix.
I mean, Netflix has made very few. They made that episode on match fixing, which
Mhm.
imagine the first thing you find on cricket on Netflix
Which is
not
negative.
it's match fixing. That's a big PR misfire.
Mm.
Number two, they created a documentary on Pakistan and India where they had, the Gangulis, the Dravids, and the Shoaib Akhtars talking
And the
about.
Sehwag.
I thought that documentary was a bit irrelevant in today's day and age because back then when the countries used to play a lot of bilaterals, it was a hot ongoing contest.
Mm-hmm.
But now we play one-off matches in ICC tournaments, so I don't know if a documentary even makes sense because you only have 1 day or 2 days to focus on. What I did gain from your Sony example is what if the ICC also started.
By the way, Sony was the broadcaster for that series. I remember.
So that makes sense, right?
Yes.
That promo or documentary they make directly has a return for their channels.
Yep.
Right? Again, very capitalistic, very business oriented, treating it like a commodity, not a lot of focus on the sport itself. When you keep these commercial aspects in mind, let's talk also, we mentioned it. I would just like to say that I have a wish.
Mm-hmm.
I dreamed a dream
Mm-hmm.
that Test cricket becomes the highest paying format for all Test playing nations.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you fix the economics of it, you start incentivizing Test cricket, I feel the broadcasters will follow.
Mm-hmm.
Reason being simple. When the players decide
Mhm.
that, listen, and the boards have to obviously encourage
Push.
this. Once the players decide that, listen, we are getting our best payday in Test cricket, our incentives are set up in a way that we must perform in Test cricket, the broadcasters will follow. This is the misbalance in power right now. The broadcasters are making a lot of the decisions. For example, BCCI struggles to upload highlights of its own content on YouTube because of their agreements with broadcasters. You have to go to the BCCI's channel,
Mhm.
their own TV, their website, to be able to access the highlights. So once again, this goes to show that the broadcasters have a lot more power than they should.
Mhm.
Because when you add that broadcasting barrier that you have to go to the BCCI's website, you're essentially reducing access to the sport.
Mm-hmm.
And once you reduce access to the sport, you're making it less inclusive and you're not as focused on growth, but you're more focused on financial growth, not the sports growth. So what if we started encouraging, or the ICC started encouraging cricket boards around the world, especially the test playing nations, that you must run marketing campaigns for test cricket in domestic and
Mhm.
international. And this, again, needs to be done by whom? That specific test governing body.
You came to at least you agreed to my one of the point.
I'm coming around.
Please do.
Right? Like this is, and the thing is, Sharon, with all due respect to those that are sitting in the ICC offices, I'm pretty sure they've thought
of
about
it.
these
Obviously,
things.
they would have
They've thought about it probably
in a higher
million
state.
times more than we have.
Mhm.
And they are more qualified to discuss these things.
Obviously.
But the question does arise that
Mhm.
is the barrier to this change
Mm-hmm.
broadcasting rights.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of broadcasting rights, both of us kind of shared our opinion on the two-tier test format that's being discussed heavily in media right now. And I told you that this bifurcation is going to make the divide even wider, and we will not see an equal allocation of resources to the test playing nations. You share a different opinion.
Yep.
Can you please tell me why two-tier test format for you is the ultimate solution to the ultimate test?
I'm not saying an ultimate solution. I'm just saying how to increase the quality of matches. If you have a tier 1, tier 2, rather than making a top 1 team playing against the bottom of the table, it's a huge gap. I just wanted to plug those gaps, create 2 sets. 1 plays against 4, 6 plays against 8. They have a different, same set of quality. Tier 1 plays against tier 1 and tier 2 plays against tier 2. Then that the quality of a test remains constant.
Okay, but then do you have demotion, promotion? Or you like who decides that you remain in tier 1 or tier 2?
That I think that there should be any model like that's how the qualifiers for the World Cup does. There are rankings to be done.
If you want to do this, then at the end of every cycle, the teams that is third and fourth goes down to 5th and 6th, and the team that finished top 2 in tier 2.
Yeah, you have to make the rotation of that. That's very fair.
So this would continue the format of the World Test Championship cycle, but that Test Championship cycle is split into 2 so that everyone gets to play more test matches. Exactly. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
I see the potential. But here's a question for you. If we were to follow the format that you are proposing and the media is discussing, how will your Chamiras, your Abrar Ahmeds, your Shamar Josephs get a chance to play against the likes of Virat Kohli and the Steve Smiths and the Joe Roots? Because one thing is clear, even when you are progressing through age category cricket, I played for Oman under 15, under 17, under 19. When you become too good, they push you on to the next age category so that you continue challenging yourself and growing.
Agreed.
But in this tier, let's say that you might have, I'll use an example of Bangladesh. Bangladesh is statistically likely to stay in the second tier if this format was introduced. But we've always seen Bangladesh produce 2 or 3 world-class players, right? Even in your last 10 to 20 years, starting from the Mushrikul Rahims, the Muhammad Ashrafuls, then the Mashrafi Murtadas, then you had the phase of Shakib al-Hassan, Mustafizur, Muhammadullah, Tamim Iqbal, and now in recent times you see Litton Das, you see the Rishad Hussains, and you still continue to see Fizz tearing it up. But imagine now that those guys were not allowed to play against the more significant test nations. Imagine there was no India, Bangladesh in 2007 or Pakistan, Ireland in 2007. There will be no Holland beating UK. There will be no USA beating Pakistan. There will be no Zimbabwe beating India. Point being is that you take away dreams.
I don't think so.
Okay.
To answer your point, I'm not asking like the tier is going to be a constant. I'll keep them as a dynamic. If I keep 4 test playing nations in my tier 1 and 4 nations in my tier 2, that position 3, 4 and a position 5, 6 going to be always dynamic. Whoever is leading their board, they're going to switch their tires.
So promotion, demotion.
Yeah, demotion. That's how the competitive sport should be.
Do you see Bangladesh becoming a tier 1? That's what I said. Statistically speaking, it's improbable that they are going to make it.
See, I totally disagree with your point.
Okay.
See, when you look at the how T20 World Cup or any ODI is scheduled, there are stages there like certain countries gonna play the qualifiers. Until and unless they don't play the qualifiers, then they're not gonna come into that top 32. By the way, I'll give you one best example. If England from today went on to lose all their ODIs till 2026 World Cup, they will be disqualified from playing the next World Cup. Isn't that a questioning sword on their head?
Yeah, but it's more of a lenient system. For example, if you want to play in the Champions Trophy, you have to be a top 8 ranked side.
That's exactly.
But here you're saying top 4. You're even creating more of a scarcity. You're creating an issue that doesn't exist.
Because I don't want to dilute the strength of my test cricket.
No, you don't want to watch uncompetitive cricket because you don't have the patience to see a poorer side struggle against India, England, Australia because it's boring for you. It's less financially viable for broadcasters. This is my point. We have become too selfish in our approach of the game. We need to include everyone. We look at women's cricket. There's no focus on tests. The whole model is now running towards money, money, money. And it has happened because of the advent of IPL and other T20 leagues. The charm of Test cricket has been stolen through money. And again, now with these two-tier formats, you're creating an elitist club that's not letting others join the party. Sorry, you have to be a certain height to ride this roller coaster.
Okay, I agree with your point. Now give me a solution.
The solution is very straightforward. If you are going to play 100 test matches in a year, okay, let me make it easier. If you're going to play 80 test matches in a year, each nation should play 10. That is equality. That is how you give everyone a fair chance. You're not doing that currently at all. You're just, I don't know, it's just the corridors of power, maintaining more corridors of power.
So I agree with your point. Let's start distributing our whole 100 test matches into 10 nations.
Yeah.
And we are basically doing this one side, and we are expecting our next young generation to take up to see the test cricket, where we are presenting it as an elite luxury format of cricket. And if they come and if they see this diluted test matches, do you feel that test cricket gonna bloom up from here?
See, what I'm saying is, we take a little bit of what you said and we take a little bit of what I said.
So we have to meet in somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, but I don't see an attempt to do that. Right now, there is no middle. It's just that wherever the money goes, the cricket follows. That's what's happening, Shannon. Put your hand on your heart.
I completely agree, because I was giving the capitalistic thought.
Yes, you are the kind of person ICC would love to hire, right? They'd be like, he wants to multiply our money, which I completely respect and understand. I have been a business owner in the past. Money was the number one motivation. I wanted to see my profit margins go up as much as possible. I completely understand that. But this isn't a business, man. This is a sport. It's a sport followed and played by billions. Why are you restricting it to 1.5 billion?
I'm not restricting, Hassan. I just had a fair point saying that how can I make my sports more attractive towards an upcoming generation.
So that's what I'm saying, that when we meet halfway,
here's
my idea. I loved what you said about packaging Test cricket for Gen Z. Package cricket for Test cricket for Gen Z, and then try an equal distribution model where every nation gets to play.
Yep.
Then you can say that we have given everyone an equal chance.
That should be a sustainable path which we should be looking after.
We have given everyone an equal chance. Everyone has played against each other. We have tried this for 5 years. This is the pattern we see. This idea, the big three are first, second and third, this is the best time to introduce two-tier Test cricket. That's what it feels like to me. Tell us that there is a qualification period now. For the next 5 years, you have to prove that you are worthy of playing in the first tier. We are going to have 5 test playing nations in tier 1, 5 in test 2, because we want to include more nations such as Afghanistan and Ireland, make them more regular. Now you have 2 tiers. You have 5 years, we're going to test this phase, and if we see that there is a huge divide, which I think we will see, there is a huge divide, and based on that, we're going to split the tiers. That way, even traditionalists and purists like me, who want to see minnow nations play against the big nations, will have to shut up. Because we tried and tested something, and the empirical evidence suggests that the two-tier format is the best way forward for the growth of the game. If someone puts an argument like that in front of us, I will shut up and accept it.
So, what I understand is this whole financial investments are asymmetrically skewed towards big threes, or where you have a more audience pool.
Because they generate the most, which is a correct argument. It's difficult to say that why are you not distributing money everywhere? Well, I generate 50% of the money. I have a right to keep that 50% of the money, which is a sound argument. You can't argue with that. But that's where ICC comes in, right? And ICC has been a bit of a disappointing governing body, generally speaking. But then which sport has a widely respected or even accepted governing body, right? Everyone.
Every sports has its
Yeah, so that I don't think is a significant point. But Sharon, so Sharon, the future of tests isn't about protecting fixtures or one-off matches or teams. It's more about protecting the essence of the format, right? How do you protect that essence of that format? You market it appropriately to the younger generations. You schedule your test matches proportionally so everyone gets to play the same amount. You allocate test funds through a test-specific governing body that then enforces you to follow certain SOPs for your continued membership of International Cricket Council. And lastly, taking the power away from the broadcasters and into the hands of the cricket boards and cricketers, the individuals who are actually running the show.
It's pretty sad that we are sitting here and discussing about whether the test cricket is dying or whether test cricket is being tested. I still believe on the statement which we made, until and unless you are being tested to your hardest limit, history not gonna remember you. Once you pass these hard times, you will come out to be victorious. You will be remembered for your legacy. I think test cricket isn't dying. It's going through a test, and we will pass through these hurdles and legacy will continue. That's all I can believe in.
In the age of shortcuts, the long game of Test cricket is a form of rebellion. And maybe that's what Test cricket still offers. The greatest rebellion the sport can potentially put forth. We look at the headline series of 2025, and we consistently saw things in cricket that we don't ever get to see in ODIs and T20 cricket. Test cricket has always been more than a relic of history. It is the game's past, its present, and if we choose wisely, its future. The danger is treating it like a fading tradition, something to tolerate while leagues take over. But if us as a cricketing fraternity embrace Test cricket, market it, invest in it, believe in it, then cricket just won't survive, it will thrive. And that survival won't come from boards and broadcasters alone. It has to come from us, from our fathers, our mothers, our brothers and sisters, keeping the format alive in our homes and communities. From making conversations like the one we just had part of the everyday fabric of cricket culture, then the next generation will inherit not just a sport that is played in the white ball, but the full story, the white and red ball, the red ball that the game is incomplete without. My name is Hassan Ali. I was joined by Sharan Kumar, and behind the camera, like always, was Rupesh Atmuri. This was Cricktake, the ultimate test. We'll speak to you some other time, some other day. Till then, take care.